back to the Brew with Bex. Happy Thursday. I hope you're having an awesome morning so far. So stoked that you decided to tune in to today's episode where we're talking about something very different than we typically do, but it's a girl talk. So today is a little girly pop episode all about hair growth. And this is something that's come up on my personal Instagram, Bexy, pretty frequently. Something that I brought up on my blog and it actually performed really well. The post seems like a lot of people are interested, and that is really my hair growth journey, which is pretty much full circle, I would say, at this point. So a little background about me and my hair. I actually have always had really dark, long brown hair my whole life. And then I think it's like that phase that everyone goes through in their 20s where for some reason we all think we're blonde, and dyed my hair blonde. It actually started like progressively. So I started with highlights, then I started, going lighter and lighter and lighter, till at one point I had super blonde hair, and also my hair was super short. At that point, I actually wasn't really prioritizing maintaining a healthy diet. I was very active in terms of working out, but I certainly was not eating enough at that point, and my hair started to get brittle. It started to really fall out, really thin, and it ended up being really short. So I'll definitely find a picture to put up here for you guys. And honestly, I just want to hug that girl and tell her to please stop dyeing her hair and to go back to her natural roots. I actually think that the way that your hair is naturally is the way it's supposed to be. I do think your God-given hair is how it's supposed to be. I know that's up for debate. A lot of people feel like they love having their hair a different color, which totally up to you, however you want to do it, whatever you feel confident with. But in my personal experience, I think I'm a brunette. I personally think brunettes have more fun. I've had more fun as a brunette, let's put it that way. And it was a bit of a mindset shift into how to get my hair back to this way, to really take that jump to say I'm not going to dye my hair anymore. And honestly, doing all of this stuff, it's so expensive. Like going to get your hair dyed every 2 to 3 weeks was what I had to do because my hair is so dark and I was going so light, and that was just like so expensive. And I'm looking back, I'm like, why did I do that? Like, you know what I mean? But whatever, you're in your 20s, you're having fun, but you always wonder like why did I do that? Like why couldn't someone just be like, please stop dyeing your hair? And so I was going to get my hair done every like 3 weeks-ish, because the second my roots would come in, it would be really bad. Then I would also notice that my hair would get really brassy because I was going so light, and then I would have to go get it toned or use the toner shampoo. And honestly, it was just such an ordeal that now it's gotten so simple. Like honestly, I rarely get my hair done, and sometimes I'll do like an at-home glaze just to make sure it's like a nice shade of brown and I don't have to worry about like any like too much sun sometimes can lighten it or make it a weird color. So I try to keep it pretty neutral with the glaze. But today I'm going to go through some quick tips. This is going to be a very brief yet informative episode, hopefully. And if you're someone that is dyeing your hair, or you're thinking, how do I get my hair healthy again? I'm ready to take that jump. This episode is for you. We're going through a few quick tips in this mini episode and what has worked for me to have my hair longer and healthier over time. If this is something that you do enjoy or you're looking to dive more into it, please let me know in the comments, because I have so much more hair knowledge. My hair is so big because it's full of secrets. And it's really not an overnight miracle or anything like that, but there's little things that I've used that have helped, and also just different ways to look at it. One, I would say the mindset shift. Really, you just have to say, I'm going to go back to my natural roots and run with it. At that point, my hair was blonde and it was pretty short, and I was like, I think I'm ready to go brunette again. I want my long hair back. I want full hair again. And I just kind of took that jump and dyed it brown so that it would match my roots. I, at that point, was collaborating with a few hair salons. So I actually collaborated with a salon to get my hair back to dark brown and then just kind of let it grow in from there. So it's definitely different, but I feel like you'll be surprised. You may like yourself back to your natural color if you haven't seen it in a while, and your friends and family also might too. It's kind of like returning back to the old you, and I think that was a really powerful message for me to see within my 20s and my late 20s. So I would also say, let go of instant results. You're going to get that instant result when you dye your hair back to your natural color, but it's going to take some time for it to grow in and to get back to the way that you liked it. I would definitely prioritize like using good, clean products. Some of the products that I used were Bondi Boost was one of them, or not Bondi Boost, that's the salty. Bondi Sands was one that worked really well. They have a hair growth shampoo, and that one's like a good one to use. You can also look into different supplements, like JS Health has a good hair growth supplement. I would say really making sure you're getting a lot of red meat in your diet. That is something that, like red meat, protein, ground beef has a lot of collagen. That really helps with hair growth. So just making sure you're incorporating all of that and that you're eating enough, and that really does help with from what I've seen with my hair and my nails and how fast that they grow. I would also say some breakage prevention. You can do things like getting a silk pillowcase. That's a great tip and tool. Avoiding using like doing super tight hairstyles or like pulling at your hair a lot. Being pretty cautious like with brushing and making sure you're just like taking good, you know, cautious care of your hair. I like to use different hair oils in my hair. Castor oil is a good one. Rosemary oil is another one. Really trying to use as natural products as always. You guys know I love to use natural products. And I also would say satin scrunchies is a good one. It tends to pull less of your hair out when you're using it. And also regular trims. So I actually do this, I do my own trims, and I just kind of see where my hair starts to look like it's getting a little, you know, some split ends or dead ends, and I just kind of clip away. There's no real structure to my hair right now, so if a hairdresser's listening, they're probably like cringing at this, but I just kind of go through and I'm like, oh, dead ends? Okay, we're clipping. So you could see here towards the front, I actually did just the other day, I went through and kind of trimmed it up a little bit, so I have a little bit of layers going on that I just decided to do on my own. So that was pretty helpful, and I would say that that's helpful to make sure that you're getting the dead ends off, and then it just overall looks healthier when you do that. I would say that, you know, I really don't use dry shampoo very often. I use Kenra for my, if I'm doing a blowout, and I'll use like the Kenra, it's like the leave-in conditioner spray that is like a blow dry protectant, and your hair dries really fast with that. So I'll use that. I use the Shark Flex style to blow dry my hair, and then I'll use a curling wand to create these waves and kind of brush them out for you know, my overall look here. So I'll do that, and I think, you know, I've used things like moisturizing masks and things like that in the past. There's not really one brand that stands out to me when I'm kind of just running through this now. And also I would say making sure that you're using like a shampoo that doesn't have sulfates or parabens. Just try to be, you know, a little bit conscious of that for overall health reasons. But I think harsh chemicals and things like that are probably not the best for your hair. I am not an expert on any of this. This is just my own personal experience. And I would also say hydration, making sure you're staying hydrated, making sure you're managing your stress, eating protein-rich foods. And you can use supplements like biotin and collagen. I think a great way to get that is through your diet. So if you are eating a lot of ground beef, that does have a lot of collagen in it. And biotin, I know sometimes can make people break out. So if it works for you, great. If not, you know, maybe try to get your source elsewhere. But I would say it wasn't really one magic product, so I'm sorry I can't share like one product that worked great that just kind of made my hair long. But there's a lot of little things that I did, and I think, you know, if you want to look into supplementation, I would say JS Health supplements, those are awesome. I also would recommend, you know, just getting like your blood work done to get different levels checked to make sure that everything's in check there, because that can help too if there's anything off in terms of that you can work on through supplementation. And then it was really just like small little choices made consistently. So I decided I was going to go back to my roots. I decided to let my hair grow in again. And if you're on your own hair growth journey and trying to get back to the way that your hair was, like I would say now I'm back to my like 17-year-old hair, I guess. I would say give it time, protect your peace and your ends, and make sure that you're showing up for yourself. There's a lot of little natural things you can do that are very inexpensive, like I mentioned, the castor oil, rosemary oil, Bondi Sands shampoo was one, and really just a clean shampoo. There's so many clean shampoos out there, but I would say just try to avoid parabens and sulfates, as those aren't just good for you in general. And look to those protein-rich foods, make sure you're eating enough, and that's really the big ones for me. So hopefully this episode helped you if you're on your hair growth journey, and I want to remind you that you can go back to your natural hair. It's okay if you're not a natural blonde. Brunettes have more fun anyway. Just kidding to my blonde listeners, but it is okay, and you're gonna be okay. I think a lot of people are like, oh, I can't dye my hair back to my natural color. I've been blonde for so many years, and I was blonde for a lot of years, and I think, I don't know, you just realize like it's like powerful to be a dark brunette. It really is. I mean, it's like, wow. Like I feel like I just look more, I don't know, I just look more like mature put together with my hair like this. I feel better, feel confident, and I think each season of our life has like a time for the way that we're, you know, our vibe or our aesthetic is going, and for me this just feels right. So I wish you the best on your hair growth journey. Take care of yourself, take care of your ends, and we will get you back to where you want to go with your hair. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I realize this episode is literally so long, so this literally could be a full-length episode, but I wanted to have a little girly talk this Thursday, and I hope you enjoyed it.